Hare Krishna. Welcome to our channel, Bhagavad-gita. Here it is, because we have Bhagavad-gita as it is, translation and commentary by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, and my name is Latika. So we are reading towards the end of the 11th chapter, the Universal Form, and today we will start with text 54.
Shri Guru Shri Juta
So, yes, we have Krishna here, who have just been showing Arjuna the universal form, and he's been telling Arjuna that seeing him as he is, it is not possible by any material qualification or method. It is only possible, we will hear in this verse. Last verse we heard what was not going to bring us to God. Now maybe we will hear what will bring us to him. I'm reading the Sanskrit. Bhaktyat vananyaya sakya aham evang vidhorjuna gyatum drashtung chatatvena praveshtung cha parantapa. My dear Arjuna, only by undivided devotional service can I be understood as I am, standing before you, and can thus be seen directly. Only in this way can you enter into the mysteries of my understanding. It was a while since I said this, but there is some of the verses that are more core verses and are maybe helpful to learn by heart and keep as, like an anchor for the spiritual understanding. This may be one of those. Purport. Krishna can be understood only by the process of undivided devotional service. He explicitly explains this in this verse, so that unauthorized commentators who try to understand Bhagavad-gita by the speculative process will know that they are simply wasting their time. No one can understand Krishna or how he came from parents in a four-handed form and at once changed himself into a two-handed form. These things are very difficult to understand by the study of the Vedas or by philosophical speculation. Therefore it is clearly stated here that no one can see him or enter into understanding of these matters. Yes, we hear about Krishna. He appeared 5,000 years ago. His parents at that time were prisoners of King Kamsa, who had heard that their son would kill him. So he thought, let's not take any risks here. Let's put both of the parents in prison and kill all the children immediately. So Krishna appeared. He didn't take birth. He just appeared in his beautiful four-armed Vishnu form with long black flowing hair, beautiful crown, a flower garland, yellow silken clothes. I mean, nobody is born like that. This whole idea that we are going to, that is widespread, that by some form of yoga or meditation or mystical process, we will realize again that we are the Supreme. Krishna didn't do any mystical process to realize. He stayed the same Supreme that he was always, and he appeared like that. He can do that. And then his parents, in some moment of love, parental love, that doesn't make any logical sense. His mother is saying, but if Kamsa sees you like this, he will understand that you are God and he will kill you. Therefore, please, take the shape of a small baby. Kamsa already killed all the other babies. He will certainly try to kill this baby as well. But his mother loved him so much, she just wanted him to be her son. And that is the relationship with Krishna, that Krishna and the devotees show. So this is not something we can understand by logic. God appears in a prison in his four-armed form and then takes the shape of a baby. This is the relationship between the devotees, and this can be understood only when we also develop a relationship. Of course, in a sense you can understand it. It makes perfect sense that God is not just going to be very powerful and control everything and own everything. He's going to do the things he likes, and the things he likes the most is relating to his pure devotees, those devotees who are also not confused by any other illusions. They are fully aware of their own spiritual nature and personality and their own relationship to Krishna, and there is nothing more important in this world. And this, by studying the Vedas. The Vedas are very vast. They are enormous bodies of knowledge, and to even just learn it, I'm sitting here in this strange time where nothing is as it's used to be, and I cannot go to work. I'm working from home, and I have a little more time on my hands. And I just realized I'm from Europe, and we sometimes think it's very funny, the Americans, they can never learn our countries. How hard can it be? And I'm thinking, yeah, how good am I at the states of the USA? I'm not good at all, it turns out. On a map, I could place maybe 5 of them. Something like that. Five of the states I could. So I'm looking at these states and I'm learning them a little bit. And, you can memorize stuff. That's possible. But if I don't go there, if I don't know anyone in these states, it will just be something very theoretical. It will be a list of words that we know real meaning. So understanding the Vedas, even just learning all the facts, will be a lot harder than learning, some countries on a continent. So before we learn these things, we cannot make any, conclusions or prioritize that knowledge. And therefore, even if we manage to study a lot of Veda in this life, it will be very difficult to draw the right conclusion. So Krishna comes here and tells us personally, my dear Arjuna, only by undivided devotional service can I be understood as I am. And we have heard it before in the Bhagavad-gita, that self-realization means understanding who we are, the soul, in connection to Krishna, and that's therefore also understanding who he is. And that cannot be done by any material merit. That can only be done in connection with Krishna, as he's showing us himself. Here in Bhagavad-gita, by instructing Arjuna, and he also came just 500 years ago as Lord Chaitanya, by showing the example of devotional service. And that's what we have to follow. And when I say that's what we have to follow, I don't mean that is what we are forced to follow. I mean that is what is given to us so that we are able to follow that. And by studying the Vedas and trying to grasp it and understand it and compare different parts, we will never understand how God, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, comes down as the son of his dear devotees, first showing himself in the Vishnu form and then taking that baby form. There is no logic or speculation that brings us to that point. That is given to us by Krishna for us to be more drawn to him and attracted to him, because yoga ultimately culminates in bhakti yoga, and it's not just a method. It is the life. It is the love between God and us in this world and in the spiritual world. So yes, we get some forms, we get some structure, we get some principles to hold on to, but ultimately what it is when we wake up and our love for God unfolds into blooms again. Those who, however, are very experienced students of Vedic literature can learn about him from the Vedic literatures in so many ways. There are so many rules and regulations. If one at all wants to understand Krishna, he must follow the regulative principles described in the authoritative literature. One can perform penance in accordance with those principles. For example, to undergo serious penance, one may observe fasting on Janmashtami, the day on which Krishna appeared, and on the 2 days of Ekadashi, the 11th day after the new moon and the 11th day after the full moon. As far as charity is concerned, it is plain that charity should be given to the devotees of Krishna who are engaged in his devotional service to spread the Krishna philosophy or Krishna consciousness throughout the world. Krishna consciousness is a benediction to humanity. Lord Chaitanya was appreciated by Rupa Goswami as the most munificent man of charity, because love of Krishna, which is very difficult to achieve, was distributed freely by him. So, as we've been saying before, Lord Chaitanya is Krishna himself, who appeared on this earth 500 years ago to show the example of devotional service by his own activities, but also to give that love of Godhead that is so difficult to attain. It demands, first of all, such a purity in the life and such knowledge that any of the other yogic paths have to come to their perfection, and from that one can step further into the direction of devotional service. Lord Chaitanya just gave it to anybody, to everybody. We hear about Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda, his brother. The only currency to achieve that love of God is a great eagerness, laulyam, a great desire. So we don't even have that desire, mostly. We have some intellectual or some idea or some existential sense of a need, but that strong desire to have love of God, we may not have it at all. And Lord Chaitanya, he would still give it, and he's still giving to this day. So if one gives some amount of money to persons involved in distributing Krishna consciousness, that charity given to spread Krishna consciousness is the greatest charity in the world. And if one worships as prescribed in the temple, in the temples in India, there is always some statue, usually of Vishnu or Krishna. That is a chance to progress by offering worship and respect to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For the beginners in devotional service to the Lord, temple worship is essential, and this is confirmed in the Vedic literature. Yasya deva parabhaktir yatha deva tata gurau tasyaite katita hyartha prakashante mahatmanaha. One who has unflinching devotion for the Supreme Lord and is directed by the spiritual master, in whom he has similar unflinching faith, can see the Supreme Personality of Godhead by revelation. One cannot understand Krishna by mental speculation. For one who does not take personal training under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master, it is impossible to even begin to understand Krishna. The word "to" is specifically used here to indicate that no other process can be used, can be recommended, or can be successful in understanding Krishna. Yeah, so that word revelation, it sounds sometimes like something very big, but it is a very important thing, because it's not something we can dig up ourselves. So Krishna can reveal himself. And then we wonder, why doesn't he just reveal himself? And that is because we don't really want to see him, because to see him and understand him as he is means all our illusions will break down. And if we are here in this world in order to follow some desire that is by its nature illusory, then we wouldn't want Krishna to come and destroy that. So he doesn't. But if we want to reach him, we can do that. He is inviting us. He's inviting us, but he's also giving that information that if we study the Vedas for our whole life, first just to learn Sanskrit in order to be able to penetrate the Vedas, that's, would take 12 years or more. It's not very easy. And then suddenly the life is over and we have only gotten halfway. So Krishna gives us the Bhagavad-gita. Krishna gives us this process. And Arjuna shows it by example, and Krishna comes again as Lord Chaitanya to make it even more easy for us. So therefore, it is the most valuable thing. It is the only thing that cannot be had in this material world, because it is spiritual to its nature. Here we can move through life after life. We can experience so many things. Some of them good, some of them difficult and painful. But all of that is due to the fact that we are stubbornly holding on to this material worldview, to this bodily identification, and to these desires for separateness from God, from Krishna. So if we just give them up and just open up with love towards Krishna, that's already the spiritual world. Of course, these habits are so ingrained with us that is very difficult to do. So we recommend that to take advantage of Krishna's generous offer in the Bhagavad-gita to practice this Bhakti Yoga process under the guidance of those who are already practicing it. The personal form of Krishna, the two-handed form and the four-handed form, are described as sudurdarsham, very difficult to see. They are completely different from the temporary universal form shown to Arjuna. The four-handed form of Narayana and the two-handed form of Krishna are eternal and transcendental, whereas the universal form exhibited to Arjuna is temporary. The world tvad anyena nadrishta purvam, text 47, states that before Arjuna no one had seen that universal form. Also, they suggest that among the devotees there was no necessity of showing it. That form was exhibited by Krishna at the request of Arjuna, so that in the future, when one represents himself as an incarnation of God, people can ask to see the universal form. This is so very long. It's so very nice, but I think I want to break it off in the middle and then do the next time the rest of this purport, because I know you cannot sit and stare at the screen for too long, so we will break it off here. We will just think about Krishna, think about that opportunity to connect back to him. I know I like to try to, connect these verses to something practical in the life, but we've gone so far through the Bhagavad-gita that this is not the beginning. This is the actual connection to God. So we cannot, turn it down to something of a practical nature in this world. But it's the most practical thing, because it's the only thing that is not the same as everything else in this world. This world, there's a wide variety. There is so much of everything that we try to experience, that we have experienced lifetime after lifetime. The one thing we don't get in this world is our full spiritual identity and our relationship to God. And that's the one thing that will ultimately be something that is satisfying, not just for the moment or for right now, but that is home, that is who we are. So that is what the Bhagavad-gita wants to give us. So yes, let's continue to read the Bhagavad-gita together. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you for watching. We aim for updates every Tuesday and Friday. Please come back. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down there. We also have some links and information for you. And there is, of course, the subscribe button. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
I'm a Hare Krishna, and I approve this message. Subscribe.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,